Ready?
Hey, Coach, what were you trying to do on that final possession? I imagine Brooklyn going for the layup there wasn't the plan. Is that one of those situations where you just wish you had a timeout left to kind of have a better plan there?
Yeah, I think you always hope that you have timeouts in those situations, but felt like we had to use them prior to that. We didn't execute. We would have liked to have set a flare screen there, and that didn't happen. Situation that you don't want to be in within timeouts, but I think the knowing time and score was something that we failed on that particular possession.
And it was obviously your first game back in a while. I mean, overall, just how do you think your team did? And did you expect rust, I guess, was a factor at all down the stretch?
I think it's a difficult situation to evaluate because we've had one practice since December 12th. We were able to practice yesterday. So, other than that, we've been extremely limited, and I think some rust is to be expected. And I say that taking nothing away from North Dakota State. I thought they played really well, especially the final three quarters of the game. Thought we had two players who played well, Tina and Brooklyn. I thought played well. Without having Holly and Leah available today, it really hurt our depth. And our starting 1, 2, and 3 went 5 for 23. So we just didn't get much help scoring wise with the absence of Holly and Leah. And defensively, I thought it was obvious that we hadn't guarded the basketball in 8 days.
How challenging was it to kind of overcome the obstacle of not having played or really practiced for the past 2 weeks?
I think it's a challenge. I think any coach in the country would tell you that, for 26 years of my career, you prepare a certain way. And for us in these times when you're unable to practice, and you're doing everything in small groups, and you're having Zoom calls with and film sessions with players who, are in a quarantine situation. It's very unique. This was our first experience with it. I hope it's the last, but who knows in 2020.
Do you think that's what kind of led to the kind of back and forth start at the beginning of the game? You guys are up 13, and then in the second quarter they outscore y'all by 12. Do you think that was kind of what led to those kind of lopsided start to the game?
Oh, I don't think it's would be right for me to make excuses. I think North Dakota State played better than us in the second, third, and fourth quarter, and because of that, they deserve to win.
What's your schedule going to be like going forward? Obviously, it's going to be even more days off, and just what are the challenges of that?
I just counted it up. So we play again on December the 29th. We'll practice the 26th, 27th, and 28th. So from December 12th through December 28th, we will have 4 practices. So we definitely, when the kids come back from Christmas, which I think much deserved break, for them, I hope they get an opportunity to spend some time with family. But when we get them back, we definitely have some things that, because of lack of practice, for the last 8 days, that we need to get back and really try to improve on it.
And a little bit off topic, but you obviously have players for international recruits that have had success already this year. You have more coming along the ways. I was just curious what kind of led to your decision to do more international recruiting, and how helpful has that been for the program?
I think it's been extremely helpful. I think we were involved in many recruiting battles here over the last 5 years, in which we were finishing second and third on top 50 caliber recruits, and felt like we could increase our recruiting base and get a similar caliber of player, from from overseas, and I would give Jasmine Player a lot of credit, who's been with us two years now. She just does an outstanding job being our point person, in regards to that phase of our recruiting.
Is that something you envision continuing to do? I know you can't talk about specific recruits, but is that an area that you want to continue to attack moving forward?
Well, I mean, we're going to recruit, domestically extremely hard. I think, for this past recruiting class, we had 3 spots open, and we offered 3 international players, and we offered, I believe, 22 domestic recruits. So we're still, the majority of our recruiting is here locally and in the surrounding states and in the U.S. But when we made the offer to players we felt like were good enough to contribute, they accepted it.
Coach,
sorry, go ahead.
You and Coach Collins have ties going back to Emporia State. So how cool was that to be able to you two both on opposite sidelines at the same time?
Well, Jory and I do go way back, and I played against my own dad 6 times in my career, and you have a lot of the same emotions when you're coaching against. He's my best friend, so we felt like that. This would be a good game for us right before the Christmas break to see where we're at, and I know he made us better today, and even though we're a little shorthanded, I hope we made North Dakota State better as well.
I had just one more, the recruiting question. Is that one of those situations where you go on trips, or how do you recruit, international recruits like that?
Yes, I have both Coach Jasmine and I make those trips. I don't like to sign players without seeing them in person.
We're done for tonight. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach.